A dying Earth. The year was 2090. The Earth, once full of rivers, rain, and life, had become dry and silent. Cities were surrounded by dust storms. Fields that once grew crops were now cracked and lifeless. The rain had stopped visiting long ago. Lakes, which once provided water to millions, were now only in textbooks. People stood in lines for hours just to collect a few liters of muddy water. In some parts of the world, water was stored in locked containers, guarded like treasure. In others, people fought over a single bottle. Nations were in conflict. Some collapsed. Others controlled water like a weapon. The world wasn't ending because of war or disease. It was ending because there was no water left to live. The lost hope. Many years ago, before the crisis became this severe, a group of scientists had warned the world. They saw what was coming: the rise in temperature, the fall in groundwater levels, the disappearance of rain. They knew action was needed. So they created a project. They called it Project Near. It was designed to save the planet's future through water conservation technology. It had everything: machines that could extract water from air, systems to reuse every drop, and ways to store rain for dry days. But the world didn't listen. Politicians were too busy arguing. Industries didn't want to spend money on sustainability. Slowly, the project was shut down, locked away in an old laboratory, and forgotten. Only a few remembered it even existed. The technology within Project Near was not a dream. It was real. The machines built for it had already worked in small trials. There were atmospheric water generators that could turn humidity into clean drinking water, even in dry areas. There were smart irrigation systems that used sensors to check soil moisture and only gave water to plants when absolutely needed, saving liters every day. Greywater recycling units were designed for homes, which cleaned used water from sinks, showers, and washing machines, and reused it for flushing or gardening. Large rainwater harvesting domes were made to collect every drop of rain and store it underground, where it would stay cool and clean. All of this was created not for profit, but for the people. The project was ahead of its time, too ahead. And that's why it was ignored. The race for control. Years later, when the water crisis became global, rumors about Project Near began to spread again. Some believed it was just a myth. Others believed it was real and held the key to survival. Two powerful groups began searching for it. One was a coalition of scientists, students, and farmers who wanted to revive the project and give it to the world, free and open to all. The other was a group of powerful businessmen, corporations, and politicians who saw a different opportunity. If they controlled the technology, they could control the world's water supply. A silent war began. They searched for the old lab, hacked into old government databases, sent drones into deserts and mountains. The question wasn't just who would find the project, it was why. The people rise. But what happened next surprised everyone. Someone leaked the blueprints of Project Near online. In just a few days, they spread across the world. People began to build their own small versions of the technologies. In villages, farmers started using plastic bottles and pipes to create simple drip irrigation systems. In cities, engineers helped install greywater systems in homes. On school rooftops, children set up rainwater harvesting tanks. In workshops and community centers, people worked together to build mini atmospheric water generators from scrap material. The world had waited too long for someone to save them. Now they had decided to save themselves. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. But it had begun. A new beginning over the next few years, something magical happened. Where there was once dry land, now small green patches began to appear. Roofs of houses held clean water tanks. Farmers grew crops with half the water they once used. Schools held water conservation weeks where children taught their families how to save water. The corporate group that once wanted to control the water had no choice but to change because people had chosen a different path, a path of awareness, action, and unity. The technologies of Project Near had not just saved water, they had awakened a new way of living. A world where people respected nature, where saving a drop was more powerful than wasting a river, and where the future was finally, slowly healing. This story is fictional, but the technologies in it are real. Atmospheric water generators exist, smart irrigation is already used in some farms, rainwater harvesting and greywater recycling are available today. The only thing that needs to change is how we think. The future isn't waiting for a miracle, it's waiting for you. Because every action matters, every idea matters, and above all, every drop matters.